This is just a short video to show you how to work with groups within the new Moodle platform. It's a time saver for you in that you don't get lost in the forums as much, and it's also great for the students because it makes the discussions much more manageable for them. I'm sure you know how overwhelming it can be to have a discussion that goes on and on and on with hundreds of people in the classroom, or even 20. So this limits it a little bit. In any case, if you want to adjust your groups, you go down to Users and click on Groups, and then go ahead and use Auto Create Groups. You can always adjust the members going forward. Leave this setting as it is, leave this setting as it is, and then we're just going to talk about how many groups we have, and we're going to use 2 groups in this case. We're going to select members with the role of student, and we're going to allocate them randomly, and we're going to go ahead and submit. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the instructor to both groups. And then back to groups. When you are working, for example, in the gradebook, you click on Grades, and it says Grader Report at the top. You'll notice now that you have a choice of separate groups, and you can look at all participants, Group A, and Group B. So it's kind of interesting because you can see how all participants are doing, or you can look at individual groups and see how they're doing in their group, and perhaps adjust the groups as you go through, or switch things up if you choose to. Think of the online platform as a classroom, and by dividing the students, you're just putting Group A on one side of the room and Group B on the other side of the room. They're getting the same material, they're getting the same experience, they just happen to be on different sides of the room. So that's kind of nice because it does allow you to grade. With discussion forums, though, it is a little bit tricky because one of the things that comes up quite often is, oh my God, there's no reply button, there's no reply button. And so what we have to do when we look at forums, let's go ahead to this self-introduction forum. Alright, we have to add a new discussion topic for each group. Okay, so we have to start with Group A and add a new discussion topic. What I usually do is just copy and paste what's ever in the box, click on Add a New Discussion Topic, make sure that I'm set for Group A, and then I say Thread Starter Group A. They're not going to see both groups. They're only going to see their own. But it just helps me to remember, okay, I've done this, I've set it up properly. And then I go ahead and make sure that this is set to Group A, and I post to forums. I'm going to go ahead and continue and do the same thing with Group B. If you don't put up a thread starter, there will be no way for the students to reply. So it's really important that you do this step. And as you can see, it's taken me about 2 minutes, so not overly painful. Go ahead and post a forum. And now both groups will be able to post. You will be able to see both thread starters when you have it set to all participants, thread starter B, thread starter A, and you'll be able to see the replies and the unread, etc. What's nice is that you can see, is Group A more active than Group B? Maybe I need to switch people around a little bit. But it does keep the discussion forums that much more manageable. Same thing when you rate in the gradebook, and when you're doing grading as well. So that's how you work with groups on the platform. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to click on the Help button. Give me a shout if you run into any problems, and I'll jump in to help you as quickly as I can. Thanks very much.